Faust cursed.
The second study scene. A knock. Come in. Who now will try my patience? It's me. Come in. It takes 3 invitations. Come in, then. Now you know the cue. We too, I trust, will have no altercations. For to chase off your lucubrations, I'm here as a young nobleman for you, in scarlet suit with gold braiding, a mantlet stiff with silk brocading, cock feather perched on beret brim, a rapier long and pointed nicely. And I advise you now concisely to throw yourself in similar trim, so that, emancipated, free, you may explore what life can be. I greatly fear, regardless of attire, I'll walk in pain the narrow earthly way. I am too old to be content with play, too young to be without desire. What does the world hold out by way of gain? Abstain, it calls. You shall abstain. Thus goes the sempiternal song, that every mortal creature hears, that our entire existence long each hour comes rasping to our ears. Each morning I awake in desperation, sick unto tears to see begun yet one more day, that in its ambulation will grant me not a single wish, not one, that in its stubborn carping tempers each mere presentiment of joy with thousand shams of living hampers my live creative mind's employ. When night descends and I would seek for slumber, then, too, I am not granted rest. I dread to bed me down. Wild visions cumber my dreams and make repose unblessed. The Lord within my bosom bowered can stir me to the inmost kernel. The one past all my powers empowered. He cannot alter anything external. Existence seems a burden to detest. Death to be wished for. Life a hateful jest. And yet death never is a wholly welcome guest. Oh, blessed he who about whose brow he winds the blood-stained laurels of victorious war, or whom, spun breathless off the ballroom floor, locked in a maiden's arms he finds. Oh, had I sunken lifeless, wasted of bliss, before the lofty spirit's might! And yet a certain person left untasted a certain brownish elixir that night. In spying, it would seem, you have a special touch. All-knowing I am not, albeit aware of much. What if in the sweet familiar pealing recalled me from that fearsome maze, lured what remained of childlike fearing with echoings of happier days? My curse I hurl on all that spangles the mind with dazzling make-belief, with lures and blandishment entangles the soul within this cave of grief. A curse to start the smug delusion whereby the mind itself ensnares. Cursed branch, phenomenal intrusion that blinds the senses unawares. Cursed what in living dreams assures us of name and glory past the grave. Cursed pride of ownership that lures us through wife and children, plow and slave. Accursed be mammon when it treasure to deeds of daring exercise, for idle self-indulgent leisure spreads a luxurious divan. Cursed be the balsam of the grape, cursed highest prize of lover's thrall, a curse on faith, a curse on hope, a curse on patience above all.
Whoa! Whoa! You have destroyed the beautiful world with mighty fists! Improbable shattered, my deep God shattered! We dare ruins unto the void, and for beauty destroyed! Mighty one of your sons in splendor perfected, seated one in your own breast, reading perfected, seven worth of one rebirth with red seven, and you Here the smallest of all who are at my call, precociously suing for joyous doing to the world entire from this lonesome plot where thought and juices clot, they bid you aspire. Be done with nursing your despair, which, like a vulture, feeds upon your mind. The very meanest company bids fair to let you feel a man among mankind. It's not that we propose to toss you in among the rabble. I am no ranking devil. But let us say you choose to fall in step with me for a life's adventure. I'll gladly, forthwith, go into indenture, be yours, as well as I know how. I'm your companion now, and if this meets with your desire, will be your servitor, your squire. And for my part, what is it you require? Never you mind, it's much too soon to worry. No, no, old Nick's an egoist. It's hard to picture him in any special hurry to be of service for the love of God. Spell out just what the bargain turns upon. Not safely is such servant taken on. I shall be at your service by this bond without relief or respite here on earth. And if or when we meet again beyond, you are to give me equal worth. Beyond to me makes little matter. If once this earthly world you shatter, the next may rise when this is past. It is from out this earth my pleasures spring. It is this sun shines on my suffering. If once from these I draw asunder, then come to pass what will and must. I do not further choose to wonder if hate may then be felt or love, or whether if in those regions yonder they still know neither or above. So minded, you may dare with fitness. Engage yourself. These days you are to witness examples of my pleasing arts galore. I'll give you what no man has seen before. What is, poor devil, in your giving? Has even human mind in its high striving been comprehended by the likes of you? What's yours but food unsating, the red hue of gold wit shifting and untrue, quicksilver-like will run through the fingers run, a game which always stays unwon, a girl who at my very breast trades winks already with another's eyes, but honors fair and godly zest, which like a meteor flares and dies. Show me the fruit which, still unplucked, will rot, trees freshly green with every day's renewal. Such a commission daunts me not. I can provide that sort of jewel, but nonetheless, there comes a time, my friend, when good things savored at our ease give pleasure. Should I ever take ease upon the bed of leisure, may that same moment mark my end, when first by flattery you lull me into a smug complacency, when with indulgence you can gull me, let that day be the last for me. This is my wager. Done. And beat for beat, if the swift moment I entreat, tarry a while, you are so fair, then forge the shackles to my feet, and I will gladly perish there. Then let them toll the passing bell, then of your servitude be free. The clock may stop, its hand fall still, and time be over then for me. Reflect on this. We shall not forget it. That is your right, by no means to be waived. My sake was in no wanton spirit bedded. Once come to rest, I am enslaved. To you, whomever, why regret it? This very evening, at the doctoral feast, watch me my servant's duty plying. Just one more thing, for living or for dying, I'd like a line, or two at least. Cannot you pennant do without a screed? Have you not met a man, not found his word, his deed? What? Is it not enough my spoken word should force my days into eternal peonage? Does not the world rush on with brimming course? Am I to be imprisoned by a pledge? Yet this conceit is lodged within our breast, and who would gladly see it leave him? Who bears good faith in his pure soul is blessed, no sacrifice will ever grieve him. A square of parchment, though all written stamped, becomes a spectre that repels all men. Still in the pen the word is cramped, and wax and leather lord it then. What, evil spirits, say your rules? Parchment or paper? Marble? Brass? What tools? A stylus? Chisel? Pen? How shall I write it? You're at liberty to choose. How can you, with so puny a fuse, get such hot rhetoric ignited? Just any slip will do, it's all the same. You draw a drop of blood, and sign your name. With the hocus-pocus, I'm game, if this is all you need to be requited. Blood is a very special juice. No, never fear, the promise might be broken. My utmost striving's fullest use is just the part I have bespoken. I sought to puff myself too high. Your rank is all I may attain. The lofty spirits spurn me.
and I pry at nature's bolted doors in vain. The web of thought is all in slashes, all knowledge long turned dust and ashes. Let the depths of sensual life, the blaze of passions be abated. May magic shrouds unpenetrated with every miracle be rife. Let's hurl ourselves in time's onrushing tide, a current's on-rolling stride. So may the pleasure and distress, failure and success, follow each other as they please. Man's active only when he's never at ease. No bars or bounds are set for you. If anywhere you feel like snatching, chance relish, sweet of passage catching, may what delights prove wholesome too. Just help yourself and don't be coy. You heard me. There can be no thought of joy. Frenzy I choose, most agonizing lust, enamored enmity, restorative disgust. Henceforward my soul for knowledge sick no more. Against no kind of suffering shall be cautioned, and what to all mankind is approportioned, I mean to savor in my own self-score, grasp with my mind both highest and most low, weigh down my spirit with the weal and woe, and thus my selfhood to their own distend, and be as they are, shattered in the end. Oh, take my word, who for millennia past has had this rocky fare to chump, that from this first breast to his last no man digest that ancient sourdough lump. Believe the likes of us, the whole is made but for God's delight. He dwells in an eternal aureole. Us he committed to the depths of night, and you make do with dark and light. And yet you choose it, worthily decided. I fear just one thing for my part. Short is the time, and long is the art. In this I trust you will be guided. Associate yourself with a poetaster, and let that sportsman brood and roam in all the noble virtue cluster upon your venerable dome. The lion's audacity, the stag's swift surge, the Italian's fiery urge, the Norse's tenacity. Let him reveal the arcane style of joining generosity and guile, whereby youth's ardor freshly fanning, one falls in love with proper planning. I should myself be glad to meet him. Sir Microcosm, I would greet him. What am I? If it is past human power to conquer mankind's loftiest plane, the crown towards which all senses strain. You are, all told, just what you are. But wigs on of a million powdered rolls increase your height with high actors' souls. You still remain just what you are. In vain all treasures of the human mind, I feel it, have I raked to me at length. When I sit down to marshal them, I find there wells within no fresh source of strength. Not by a hair's breadth am I grown, no nearer to the limitless unknown. Dear sir, you look on things as crudely as men are apt to do. Instead, we must conduct ourselves more shrewdly, before the joys of life have fled. Bah! Hands and feet belong to you, head and arse, too, if you please. But what I freely taste and view, is that less mine than these? If I can pay for half a dozen horse, have I not bought their sixfold thew? I run and show off with the force of 24 legs, not 2. Cheer up! Throw over all reflection, and off to the world post haste! Take it from me, the slave of introspection is like a beast on arid waste. By some foul fiend led round and round, while all about green meadowlands abound. Oh, how do we set about it? We set off, that's all! What is this place, the penitence hive? What sort of life is this, to drive both self and students up the wall? Let that be neighbor Potbelly's concern. Why thresh that straw with the sweat of your brow? The best you can expect to learn, you cannot tell the youngsters anyhow. There, I can hear one outside now. How? I cannot bring myself to face him. The poor boy has been long pacing. We must not let him go unsatisfied. Come, let me have your cap and gown, and a priceless mask they should provide. No fear, my wits won't let me down. I only need a quarter hour's delay. Meanwhile, prepare to start upon the merry way. Go. Spurn intelligence and science. Man's lodestar and supreme reliance. Be furthered by the liar in chief in works of fraud and make-believe. And I shall have you dead to rights. Fate has endowed him with a forward-driving impetuousness that reaches past all sights, and which, precipitately striving, would overleap the earth's delights.
Through dissipation, I will drag him. Through shallow insignificance, I'll have him sticking, writhing, flagging, and for his parched incontinence, I have food and drink suspended at lip level. In vain will he be yearning for relief. And had he not surrendered to the devil, he still must needs have come to grief. I have been here but a short span, and come with reverent emotion to wait upon and know a man whom all regard with deep devotion. I am much pleased by your polite address. You see a man like others, more or less. Have you had time to look about elsewhere? I beg you, receive me in your care. With every good intention I am here in tolerable funds and best of cheer. My mother would scarce hear about my going. I truly like to learn a thing worth knowing. You have found the place, forsooth. I feel like pushing on, to tell the truth. These vaults, this maze of brick and wall will not agree with me at all. It's such a close, constricted place. No tree, no green thing. When I face these halls, these benches, tier on tier, I cannot think or see or hear. It all depends upon what you're used to. Thus many a child has been refused to take nourishment at his mother's breast, and soon begun to nurse with zest. So you will suck the breast of learning with rising appetite and yearning. I will hang on with joyful clasp, but tell me how I should bring them within my grasp. Tell me, before we come to that, what faculty are you aiming at? I want to get a power of learning, fill up with everything concerning the earth and heaven you can mention, science and nature at the source. And you are on the proper course, but do not spare your full attention. I will go to it with a will. Of course, time off and relaxation might sometimes take my fancy still, like when it's summer or vacation. How's been your time? It flies so swiftly past. Yet order teaches you to make time last. So first, dear friend, you should make room for collegium logicum. This leaves the mind well trained and dressed in Spanish trusses, tightly pressed, so that it slow and undistraught will potter down the train of thought. Not like a will-o'-wisp cavort, hither and yon, aside athwart. They teach you for a year or so. That what you did all at one go, like eating and drinking, fancy-free, needs stages 1 and 2 and 3. What though the thought assembly shop is like a master weaver's job, where one tread stirs 1,000 points, the shuttles back and forward run, threads flow too swiftly for the eye, one downbeat strikes 1,000 joints. Enter philosopher, and lo, he proves to you it must be so, the first being thus, the second thus, the third and fourth must needs be thus, and were it not for 1 and 2, and 3 and 4 could not be true. His pupils laud him, busy as beavers, and somehow never turn into weavers. Who would know and describe a living thing seeks first to expel the spirit within. Then he stands there, the parts held in his grasp, lost in the spiritual bond, alas. Eschereisen natura, chemistry declares, mocking itself all unawares. I don't quite follow you, I fear. It soon shall grow more nearly clear, when you learn how to analyze and properly categorize. All this leaves me as limp and dull as if millstones are grinding at my skull. Next, metaphysics, I should mention, as the foremost study for your attention. There makes your deepest insight strain, for things out of scale with the human brain, for whatever fits into it, and what doesn't, some wondrous word is always present. This first semester, though, have patience, minutely observe the regulations. 5 lecture hours is your daily spell, and be there at the very stroke of the bell, having prepared yourself well before, cramming paragraphos, what's more, to make quite sure, with no further look, the man says nothing that's not in the book. Yet by all means take it down in writing, as though it were the Holy Ghost reciting. You shall not have to tell me twice. I sense that is good advice. What one has in black on white recorded may safely be borne home and hoarded. Select a faculty, however. For jurisprudence, I feel no special bent. I scarcely blame you for the sentiment. I know about the state of this endeavor. We drag prerogatives and laws from place to place by slow degrees, age handing age, ancestral flaws, like an inherited disease.
Sense turns to nonsense, boon to plague, woe to the grandson that you are. Our human birthright prior to the bar, but that, alas, the gentlemen are vague. You make my own revulsion rise. Lucky the man whom you advise. Theology looks more like my profession. I would not give the wrong impression, as it concerns this discipline. It's all too easy to get sidetracked in. So much of poison lies concealed within. It's scarce distinguishable from the medicine. Here, too, the risk is least, when just one voice is heard. Swear only by the master's word, and some have words to lean upon. Through that trusty gateway lexicon you pass into the shrine of certainty. Yet, with each word there must a concept be. Oh, quite. Psh, no need, though, to be racking one's brain, for just where concept's lacking, a word in time supplies the remedy. Words are good things to be debated. With words are systems generated. In words belief is safely vested. From words no jot or tittle can be wrested. I dare not waste your time with many questions, but there is one more discipline. I wonder if concerning medicine you might not have some down-to-earth suggestions? 3 years are very quickly passed, and, Lord, the field is far too vast. With just a hint on what is right or wrong, it's easier to feel one's way along. I've had enough of this didactic vein. I must go back and play the deuce again. The gist of medicine is grasped with ease. You study on the microcosm, just so that in the end you let things go as God may please. Psh, it's vain to roam afield the scientific way, for everyone learns only what he can. He who will seize the moment when he may, he is the proper man. You're fairly well built, to my mind. I'd say there's some spunk in you. If you just trust yourself, you'll find other folk will trust you too. Especially the women learn to guide. Their everlasting ahs and oohs, their myriad woes, can all be cured at one divide. If you adopt a halfway decent air, you'll lure them all into your lair. First win their trust by some well-chosen title, then your art puts all other arts to shame. Then, when you start to grope for portions vital, that cost another many a year's campaign, you squeeze her pulse a little higher, then lay with cunning looks of ardor your arm around the slender waist to see how tightly she is laced. Now that sounds better. Much less guesswork or surmising. Gray, dear young fellow, is all theorizing, and green life's golden tree. I swear, all this seems like a dream to me. Might I another time entreat your leisure to draw more fully on your deep sagacity? What I can do, I'll do with pleasure. I cannot bear, I find I cannot bear to see my way to go until I have bespoken unto my album your grace some token. Oh, yes, indeed. Icretus sicut Deus, scientis bonum e malum. Go on. Heed the old saying. And my cousin the snake. There'll come a time your godlike state will make you quake. Where are we off to now? Wherever you choose. The small world and the great we shall peruse. With what profit, with what glee, you'll take this seminar for free. My long gray beard, the host spoils my chance. It cramps the proper nonchalance. This venture won't be a success. I never had a vein for worldliness. In company, I feel so small. I'll never be at ease at all. Acquiring confidence, good friend. The more you try, you'll get the hang of living by and by. But tell me, how are we to ride? Where are your groom, coach, and horses? We simply spread my mantle wide. It shall convey us on our airy courses. Embarking on this daring flight, you will do best travel light. Some fiery air, which I shall fashion here, will buoy us up from the earth quick as you please. Light as will be, we shall soar up with ease. Congratulations on your new career.